I know we kind of covered this, but why did you get into sales? And the reason I'm asking that is because before I got into sales, there's absolutely zero chance I would have ever considered doing any form of sales. I tried it at uni. Me and Jamish, we did phone sales for like 2 weeks, and we hated it.
Yeah.
And although it's the same concept, so was it the initial thought of I want to do sales, or was there something else that got you excited about doing sales?
No, I'm just like you. I don't think I went through uni looking for sales roles. I didn't know anyone that did sales. Sales was never a spoken about career. The way I saw sales was you get to understand people. I wanted to learn how to be more confident with people. That was it. Because I don't like sitting on a phone. I don't like sitting behind a desk. What I do like is I like talking to people. The problem is I'd never thought that could be a career.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
Do you know what I mean? And although I wasn't the most confident dude coming in, like I wasn't like super shy or anything, but I thought I could definitely get better at getting my point across, because I was like, even if I don't want to do this as a career, I can see the value in that if I went into any other job, because businesses are run by people. Decisions are made by people. If you can influence decisions and if you can get on better with people, there's value in that. So that's kind of when I stuck around. So it wasn't love at first sight, but then I thought about it and I was like, I think I have more to gain here than to lose.
Sure, yeah. And there's something interesting you said there. You talked about the link between being good at sales and being confident. For me, it's so much more than confidence, because I think sales helps you understand people.
Yeah.
In order to have a business, you need to be good with people, and that's not just being confident. Like, you need to understand people. What advice would you give someone if they're a little bit confused with where they want to take their career?
I think the biggest problem is that people don't know what they want to do because they don't think about what they want to learn. There's a massive correlation to that. So my decisions to do this industry is because they were influenced by what I would like to learn. And you don't necessarily know what you want to learn until you get given that opportunity, saying, hey, you could learn this, you could learn that. Most people don't know what they want to do is because they don't know what each career can teach them, or what each career can do to their personal development, or this skill or that skill, or whatever. And I think you got to just ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be? Do I want to learn how to manage people? Do I want to learn how to be really good at phones, listen to people, or do I want to learn how to be really good at maths or solve it? For me, there was things that I was more interested in getting better at than other things. I came into this industry and it kind of aligned what I wanted to do. I always wanted to get better at people. I've always wanted to lead teams. I always wanted to learn how to inspire people. I thought that was really cool. I wanted to learn how to become, better at my habits. And for me, this ticked some of those boxes. It didn't tick all of them, but it ticked enough of them for me to be like, I can take something from this. And it just so happened that I ended up running a business in it.
Did you ever think, I suppose rewinding back to university, that you'd be in the position you are today at such a young age?
No. You just don't get told that, unless you're surrounded by people that run businesses or that have done it at this age, or you just you go through school, they give you the traditional route of a career, which is go to school, go to uni, find a job, start off at the bottom, hopefully after a few years work up to a certain position, then if you're good enough you might get another promotion a few years later. And of course when I came into an industry which kind of took that idea and just flips it upside down and be like, no, well, that's the long way, And yeah, 100%, the short route isn't for everybody because it requires a lot more effort. But
does it though? Does it really require more effort?
I think it requires more of a decision to commit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To a certain level of effort that you have to put in consistently. I think when you put in a lot of control, a lot of people, they say they want control, but when it's given to them on a plate, all of a sudden, a lot of people are not ready for it. They don't want to commit to to being in full control of, let's say, their pay, their hours. I came into, you know, this business, and in my head I was like, if I plan my days, continue to evaluate myself, do this, do that, set goals, set game plans every day, I knew that's not what normal people do. So I was like, no matter about my age, I'm going to get to a certain position regardless. And it just so happened that I did. I feel like I've set myself a nice foundation of habits and actions that I am aware of, that is needed to hit my lifetime goals.
Okay, awesome, man. Okay, last couple of questions. So,
yeah,
what advice would you give to someone that's just starting out in sales?
Be realistic about your expectations at the start. I think when things sound really simple, you all of a sudden think that you're going to be really good. And I definitely thought that, and I definitely wasn't really good when I started, because if you think of sales is talking to people, but because it requires a lot of basics that were just not taught in school. You know, all the 5 steps of conversation, learning about how to raise someone's impulse, tonality, strategic pauses, so on and so forth. And these concepts are really simple, but they take a little bit of time to master. So although you might not see results at the start, and I think I definitely didn't, there's no way if you continue improving that you won't get it in the future, because it is simple. But take it one step at a time. I think learn from the best people in your environment and copy and paste what they do. And it's just like anything, you know, you copy the best person. All you got to do to do better than them is take their information and work harder than them. And It might not happen tomorrow, but it will.
For sure. And then last question. So, I mean, there's 2 parts to it. So what setbacks have you had getting to where you are now? And then how did you deal with them? What was your mindset towards them?
I think my setback is, you know, I definitely didn't progress at the speed I wanted to. Or I did at a certain point, and then I kind of slowed down. And I think, you know, reflecting back on it, I think my problem was that I just stopped learning. I generally stopped. I got a bit complacent. If I want to be a salesperson the rest of my life, then I probably would have been fine with doing what I was doing. You know, I was making money, and I could say I was generally having a good time, but I never came into this to be the best salesperson. But what I didn't realize is that to not just continue doing sales forever, you need to learn other things as well, whether that's teaching and training other people, learning how to manage teams, you know, doing interviews, so on and so forth. And when I stopped learning, I stopped progressing. So I stopped doing the basics that I knew that I was taught to do in the beginning, cut corners, because I've always done that in life. That's just, everything was last minute. That was just the person I was. Every single exam, coursework has always been last minute. I like taking the easy route, just like everybody else. I felt like I could wing a lot of things because I felt like I did that in school and still got good grades. And I tried to take that mentality into what I was doing, and it worked to some extent, but I got stuck. And it took me a bit of time to realize that you can't wing it. You can't cut corners. There's no easy route. Then I had to take a step back, reevaluate my weaknesses, work on them, which is what a lot of people don't do enough of. And then, I started moving again.
And do you think people don't make a proactive effort to move forward because they feel like the situation they're in is like a permanent situation?
Yeah, people just overcomplicate the fact that sometimes it's just the little things. You know, some people try, I think even for me, I was trying to look for the biggest problem, you know, like the square root of something I was trying to find, like as if I didn't have the information, looking for that secret source to get me moving again, when really it was just some of the most basic things that I wasn't executing in the first place or stopped doing. And then when I kind of decided that, look, even though this sounds ridiculous because it's so simple, let me just go back to doing it to a T and see what happens. And it just so happened that, you know, those are the things that kind of lead on to finding out the bigger things.
All right, awesome. Appreciate it, Ed. If anyone wants to follow Ed, it's Bruzas Ed. I'll put it on the screen, but thank you very much.
No worries, man.